today we're having our Sampling the City event in Denver Harbor. And what it is basically a bike ride where we attach portable air monitors to our bikes and ride around the community. And while we're doing that, we also learn about the community's history.
This is Evergreen Negro Cemetery, the third oldest cemetery in the Fifth Ward area. This cemetery was established in 1898 by A.K. Kelly, Reverend Lee, and Zinke. At this time, the cemetery is presently being preserved and restored to be a historical museum where people can come out and see the history of the Fifth Ward neighborhood and those who lie in the cemetery.
My youngest daughter, her dad used to work for J.L. Proler Steel. He worked there for maybe probably 20 years plus. He's passed away now, but before he passed away, he had cancer. He had throat cancer. He had throat cancer, and they burnt out the cancer cells, and he was okay for a little bit, but then the cancer cells spread it to the other side of his throat. He was 70 years old at that point, but he passed away. So I tried to talk to him, but at that point I didn't. I was young. I was probably like in my early late 20s. At that point, I didn't know anything about the cancer cluster then. But had I known, then I would have, talked to him about it and helped him with it or whatever. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad. So.
And this used to be an old military post out here. So a lot of these buildings that you see, these warehouses, are the barracks where the people, where they live, the officers and soldiers live. There was a lot of immigrants, Czech, Greek, so on. When my grandmother came to this neighborhood, she lived over there by one of the schools. The elementary school, well, where she lived, it became an elementary school. But she was surrounded by Anglos. And my grandmother moved to this neighborhood because she was widowed young. And with the insurance money, she built a house over here. And my mom had to start learning how to cook and everything at a very early age, talking like 9, 10. And one of the ladies that lived around my grandmother gave my mom a cookbook, and that's how she learned how to cook like more American food.
A big problem with communicating air pollution and air quality is like the vast majority of it is invisible. You can't see it. Most of them you can't even smell it. You can only detect it by like things like monitors, or like if they get high enough, your body responds to it. These initiatives and the sort of data that we collect is important because it's sort of community and citizen-led science. We don't have a lot of sources of that, especially when a lot of data tends to be institutionally collected and maintained. And what we're trying to do at Airlines is really put that data back into the hands of community. So this is where we started off. That's the Selena Quintanilla Park. And then throughout like the kind of first half-ish of the ride, we had pretty low levels of NO2. We were primarily in the neighborhood sort of regions. But then when we make sort of this right turn, from Schweikert Street to Clinton Drive, Clinton Drive is a major street, major road that has a lot of industries on it. We see the levels kind of get higher throughout that portion that we were on Clinton Drive. And we can see, at least for VOCs, which is like a particularly toxic class of pollutants that includes like benzene and formaldehyde, the levels were high near the start of the ride. And then they went down, and then we got another peak at around like 8:45-ish. Events like these are important because it's able to adapt to the needs of what the community wants. If they want to monitor a specific location in the community, they don't have to rely on calling up the TCQ and waiting like a week for them to show up, even if they do. With initiatives like these, we can go directly to points of concern in the community, measure it, and get the data out to them in time spans of like a few days, if even that.